Hello, Shining Lights. I am Stephanie Green. I am a hypnotist, an aromatherapist, and an intuitive. And the purpose of my channel is to deliver divine insights to you for your emotional and spiritual growth. And I believe it's really important to take that kind of spiritual insight and actually ground it down into our regular everyday lives. And the way that I do this is with essential oils and aromatherapy. So, we're going to do this intuitively. I've already chosen some essential oils for you, and then we'll draw some oils cards, and then we will be pulling that all together into some self-hypnosis, which you can use throughout the week. All right, let me just check my notes here. I want to make sure that I'm telling you everything. Okay, so this is a pick a card reading, so that means you should use your own intuition to pick number 1, 2, or 3. The reading is timeless, although I put them out every week. Whatever time you came across this video is divinely chosen for you. So you should definitely just go with that. For those of you who are regulars and you've already gone to oilsandangels.com and downloaded your journal, you can just go ahead and find your timestamp after you've picked your number. And for those of you who haven't, I will be telling you how to do that in just a moment here. All right, so like I said, we're going to draw some cards in a pick a card format. And I've already told you all of this, okay? So we're going to come back to that in a second. All right, so let's talk about oils for a second. So essential oils, when you inhale them, they work directly in the limbic system. That's the part of the brain that stores emotions and memory and habits and beliefs, and that is really my working definition of the subconscious mind. So it's just really a brilliant combination of the self-hypnosis and the aromatherapy. So I'm going to pull oils in 2 sets. I always pull one out of like general common oils that many people have, and then I go to the broader set as well. So if you have a full collection, you might get something enhanced there, but if you have some basic oils, that's absolutely fine too. Now, it's really important that you use only very, very pure, well-sourced oils, because that's how you get the best effect in the body. And for that reason, I'm using only doTERRA oils. If you already have your own oils, that's great. If you don't and you want to get them through me, I do have a VIP club, and you can follow the link, and it will show you the starter kits and how to get other oils besides that as well. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's get to it. So I like to clear the air with the essential oil tea tree. So I'm just going to be doing that. Get my little pump going here. Okay, there we go. Clearing the air. And also I use frankincense to get started. Frankincense also is very protective, and it is a great spiritual oil as well. So if you want to use this at home, you can also put it over your heart. The third eye is a great place for frankincense too. All right, so let's get going with pile number 1. So for those of you Shining Lights who chose pile number 1, let's go ahead and pull some cards for you. All right, so on your journal, go ahead at the top and write down what you are looking for some insights about today. Okay, and then you'll be jotting down these particular cards. Now, while I am pulling the cards, I have already chosen for you On Guard as your common oil, so to speak, and frankincense. I'm going to just go ahead and lay these out. Okay, good. So we have On Guard and Immortelle. I don't know, did I just say frankincense? It's On Guard and Immortelle. So we'll come back to the purposes of those in just a moment. Let's go ahead and see what cards we are needing here for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and talk about On Guard. On Guard is good for energetic protection. It's good for protecting your space. Now, on a physical level, it is protective as well. It is our immunity boosting blend. But if you think about this emotionally, spiritually, energetically, it also protects your space in the same way. So you can go ahead and jot those down as well. And it is good for if you feel like a little overwhelmed, or people are kind of bugging you, or maybe you feel like you have some energetic vampires around you. It's very protective in that way. So just the fact that it was pulled for you means that you probably are needing that kind of protection. So the first people who come to mind when you're thinking about who's bugging you, that's the right person or the right people. All right, and Immortelle is a really beautiful oil physically it's made for the skin, but it has many, many oils that are so good for, sorry, I got a couple cards backwards in here. It's so good for so many things on a cellular level. It has frankincense and sandalwood and rose and some other really, really potent, powerful, but gentle oils. And it is good for divine insight and helping you transcend pain. And so when we're having struggles and pain and emotional pain in our lives, it helps you to see maybe the learnings that are in that and the ways that you are still supported by your angels and by divinity at the same time. Okay, pull one more card for those shining lights who chose pile number 1. All right, so let's see what we have here for you. First of all, I've pulled some tarot cards. We have the King of Cups, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 6 of Wands. I'll come back to these individually so you have a little bit more time to write them down. So, starting with the King of Cups. So this shows a benevolent, older male. So could be you in this situation. It could be you if you are a male, if you identify as a male. It could also be the masculine aspect of yourself. This is a very balanced card in terms of gender energy because although he is a mature male, he also represents cups, which are emotions and that kind of balanced emotional energy. So he is secure and a master of this kind of energy for himself. Then the 9 of Pentacles, this is just a wonderful card of showing security in the material world on the physical plane. So it could be money, but it could be other ways that there is security there for you in the material world. And it's a card of real comfort and security. Sometimes people read this card as being maybe even so satisfied that you're a little bored with it. So obviously I felt called to say that, so maybe that's for you, but not necessarily. And then we have here the 6 of Wands, which is victory. And this may have to do with some kind of a creative or even a business victory, but definitely you are winning. You're winning, hashtag winning. All right. All right, so let's see, this was messages from your fairies. We have Grace and Antoinette. To help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. Might have to do with the person who's bugging you. Xana, you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. Wow, isn't that just beautifully supportive? And, I'm thinking again about your oils. The need to protect yourself, like when you are doing that inner work where you have to see someone else's point of view and maybe acknowledge ways that you contributed to the problem and stand in their shoes and go through that process of empathy and forgiveness with them, you do need a safe container to do that as well. So that could be what the On Guard has to do with. And then the Xana seems to tie really closely with the Immortelle as well, because that was the message of divine insight and that you are supported and loved, and that to help you get the learning so that you can move on from the pain. So again, this one says you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you, and I ask you to relax and feel safe. All right, and lastly here, dietary change, interesting. Introducing your diet and improve your diet and your life will also improve. So I'm going to guess that you probably know something that maybe is a little bit off track in your diet, and your message is that if you make some changes there, things will get better for you. All right, so let's come up with some self-hypnosis for you now. Feel free as we are going through this to write down your insights, and you can also come back to that later if you want to reflect on it a little bit further. All right, so if you are using the On Guard, you could simply be putting it in your hands, clearing your energetic space with it. You could also put it on the soles of your feet. You could definitely inhale it or diffuse it in your space. And if you're using the Immortelle, I would encourage you to roll that over your heart, maybe even your third eye. And of course, this is also great to diffuse. It does have a roller ball on it, so you have to pry the little top off and get just a little bit in your diffuser that way. So when you're doing that, I would like for you to say to yourself, let's play around with this a little bit. The worst is past. I am graced with learning. The worst is past. I am graced with learning. The worst is past. I am graced with learning. So I advise you to use the oils 2+ times a day. I'm going to say as many as 5 times a day. Every time you are using them, saying that to yourself. The worst is past. I am graced with learning. All right, so just imagine yourself right now waking up in the morning, grabbing your oil, using it in one of the ways that we talked about. Just close your eyes and imagine that you're doing this right now. The worst is past. I am graced with learning. All right, beautiful. I hope that spoke to you. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And of course, I'd always love to see a like from you as well. That really helps us out on YouTube, especially as you probably know, my channel is very new and we're building things up here. So those kinds of likes and comments really do help. All right, blessings to you all. Thank you for being here. Shining lights. Bye-bye. All right, welcome Shining Lights who chose pile number 2. We are just going to clear the energetic space here again and make this a space just for you. All right, so I have already chosen some oils for you. So out of our common set of oils, we have Serenity. And in our more advanced, expansive set, we have Neroli. All right, so while I'm shuffling, let me tell you a little bit about Serenity. Oh, before we get into that, on your journal at the top, go ahead and just take a moment and write down what kind of thing you're seeking insight about today. And if you don't know what to ask, just ask for general wisdom. That's always fine. Okay, so Serenity. Serenity is really great for an overactive mind, and it helps us to acknowledge the need for our own space, to calm down, to soothe ourselves, to reconnect with ourselves. And once we do that, then we can reconnect with others and we can stand in their shoes a bit as well. All right, now Neroli is for shared partnership or shared purpose and partnership. So definitely having to do with working with other people. And it helps bring about relationship harmony, especially long-term relationships. Helps you get back to that part that when you were maybe so curious about the other person and so wanting to understand them, it helps you reconnect with that. And it helps you accept the growth and the teaching that is in those relationships. All right. So go ahead and jot those down in your oils. And as we get the cards pulled out, you can come back and write your cards in there. All right, I'm not sure what we're going to use for the third pile yet, or if we even will. So let's start with what we have here. So in the tarot cards, you have first of all the Queen of Swords. This shows either you or someone in the situation is showing a very sharp mind, quick-witted, discernment. Sometimes the Queen of Swords can be a little bit rough. She can be a little bit biting, cutting. So if that is you in this situation, it's maybe a time to take a breath and get heart-centered again, but we don't want to let go of that discernment. The Queen of Swords has a very, very sharp mind, and that's helpful and useful in all situations and always valued. And make it a stronger sense about whether or not that's you or someone else in the situation in a moment. Let's see how this all comes together. All right, we also have the Chariot here. The Chariot is one of the major arcana cards, and it does also represent the astrological symbol of Cancer. So if that is your sun sign, your rising sign, or even your moon sign, then this probably represents you in this situation. The Chariot shows this ability to use your own will to move forward in a way that is effortless for you, but would take much more effort for other people. And also there's a real sense of being divinely connected and divinely blessed, almost as if you were directly connected to the wisdom of the stars, and you again just intuitively and instinctively pull that into the situation. And then we have, as our third tarot card, Justice, another major arcana card. It tells us that the right thing is happening. It could have to do with an actual legal situation. If so, it does mean justice is coming your way. It could sometimes just have to do with a situation where you feel like fairness needs to play out. Again, this is a symbol that it will, that justice is there for you. There also is an aspect of something being hidden behind the veil. So there may be something that you don't know yet about the situation, but things will work out in a fair manner. Okay, all right, I'm still thinking about that Queen of Swords and whether or not that's you or someone else in this situation. I haven't decided yet, and that could be because this is a general reading, and for some of you it may be someone else, and for some of you it may be you. All right, so these are out of the Starseed deck. The first one that you got is Earth Pulsing, Pulse of the Mother, Slow Down, Time in Nature. And the second one is Your Life as a Canvas, Artist, Manifestation, Creative, Accountability. All right, let's think about these and how they are working together with the oils that we had as well. So we have Serenity. So this makes so much sense with the slowing down aspect. So you're definitely being guided to just take in a deep breath. So the way that we're going to be using the Serenity, if you have it, is to be inhaling it. Serenity is a beautiful diffusing oil. It's also great on the back of the neck. It's very calming and soothing in that way. All right. And wow, so really taking that mental clarity, the mental discernment, and creating the canvas for yourself. So here about the creative accountability and your life is your canvas. This is a manifesting card. So it means whatever you put your intention on with clarity, you can create in your life. So powerful. And then again, we have the shared purpose of the Neroli card here too. So I think if the Queen of Swords is someone else for you in this situation, it's calling you to understand their point of view and to understand if they are a little bit sharp, then it's not meant to harm you. It's really just the nature of the way they operate and the way they rely on the power of their mind and their ability to see through kind of the BS in situations. And so they just instinctively speak from that part. And if the Queen of Swords is actually you in this situation, the Neroli would be telling you that that aspect of the Queen, where she does speak very clearly, can bring so much discernment to the situation. And that's really a strength that you bring to the partnership. And also know that it's not always easy for other people to receive that. Sometimes people can be hurt because they're looking for the acknowledgement and the heart connection there as well. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, so now let's write down your daily ritual. So you're going to use one or both of these oils. And let's see what we would like for you to be using for your self-hypnosis. Let's just think through this here. All right. As I make space to reflect, I receive my, let's change that to understand. I understand my relationships more clearly. All right, let me repeat that for you. As I make space to reflect, I understand my relationships more clearly. So let's just have you practice this. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself first thing in the morning, last thing at night, sometime in the middle of the day, using the oils, breathing them in, applying them to yourself, diffusing them if you like. As you do, you are saying to yourself every time you use them, as I make space to reflect, I understand my relationships more clearly. All right, beautiful. I hope that was meaningful to you. I would love to hear your comments and to have your likes and your subscribes and all of those wonderful things. And I send you off with peace for the rest of the week. I will see you all next week as well. Thank you, Shining Lights. Bye-bye. All right, Shining Lights who chose pile number 3. We are clearing the space here again, just for you. All right, and let's use a little bit more frankincense again. I can never get enough frankincense. I just love it. All right. And by the way, everyone's different. If you don't love frankincense, that is okay. All right, so the oils that I've already chosen for you are the Blend Adaptive and then Rose Oil, for those of you who have more extensive oil collections. All right, so let's start with, we're going to start with 3 tarot cards. As I'm drawing cards, go ahead and in your insights section, write down what your question is. Give me insights on. If you don't have an exact question, it's okay to just ask for the wisdom of the Oracle, of the angels. Oh, we have a jumper. And a couple there that want to jump too. Oh, yeah. Several. Just ended up with several. Sometimes when we have so many jumpers, it seems like too many, but my sense is that we do need all of these today. So I'm actually going to flip these cards and then we'll see what we need to pull next. Definitely got these in 2 sets, so I'm going to read them as such. All right, so Shining Lights in group number 3. It does look like you are experiencing some turmoil, some heartbreak, some sense of loss and despair. And also there are some really positive messages here for you about perspective, about blessings, and about things being coming into balance. So let's talk through this for a moment. In the first set, this shows you with the 2 of Wands viewing the situation. You see how he's like a merchant. He's holding the globe, but he's also looking out across the sea. And the way that I like to think about this, how this shows up in modern day life, is it's as if you are holding the world in the palm of your hand, and yet you're not really quite satisfied with it because it's not everything that you expected when you had a bigger vision of the world. It can also be other ways that there's just a discrepancy between what you have and what you see as possible in the world. And because this comes right next to the 3 of Swords, it's shown that you do feel a lot of disappointment about this. And I mean, we have 3 swords in the heart, right? So it's just really, really deeply to the heart, deep disappointment about this. All right, now in our next set here, so these 3 cards going together as well, we have the 5 of Cups. So this is just, again, a reaffirmation of that sense of disappointment and loss that you have. The message in the 5 of Cups is, first of all, to acknowledge the sadness and the pain that you are feeling right now, and then also to take a breath and turn around and recognize that you still have 2 cups standing. All is not lost. All right, I'm going to go to the last card because the middle card's very balancing to this. Also, you have the Tower. So the Tower is that uncomfortable feeling of like, oh, I built this nice, safe space for myself, and brick by brick, and it just felt so good, and I'm so comfortable and safe, and let's make some more bricks, and oh no, I didn't put a door or a window, and the only way out of this little personal prison I built for myself is to blow the top off of the thing. And you can see it's not a super comfortable situation. The thing that I like about this is with the lightning, it really, to me, that shows that the escape is divinely inspired. But you're going to go tumbling out head first. So again, it's not a super comfortable situation. It's a little bit like we have to burn this place down so that we can move on. Now, on the bright side, you do have Temperance here right in the middle. Temperance is an incredibly balancing card, and it's showing you that there is a balance between, let me say there's a healing. There's a deep healing that comes emotionally for you. And it's also, this card has an angel in it. So it's like the hand of your angels are right upon you. And they're bringing all of this together into a confluence of healing for you. All right? Okay, so let's see what else. What else? I want to get something else that will bring us maybe something to use for our self-hypnosis here. I want to really bring forward that energy of temperance. I want to acknowledge the pain, and as we acknowledge it, we can start to heal it and move on from it. So we got, be yourself. Oh, there's a unicorn in here too, right? Maybe you are a unicorn. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. That's really strong. I really love that. Okay, that feels like that might be done right there. Okay, so let's talk again about these oils. Okay, so adaptive. The message of adaptive is that there is a meaning to the struggle and the stress. There's a learning, there is a lesson in there, and there's grace in that as well. And it helps us to, let's see. Sorry, let me look at my notes here for a second. Oh, right. It helps you get in touch with the inner voice that needs to come out, that needs a space in the world, that needs to be acknowledged. Wow, that is in alignment with this card, isn't it? Be yourself. Your situation calls for your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. That is beautiful. And Rose is all about divine love and blessings and having your angels and your personal divinity showing up for you in the situation. All right, so let's come up with some self-hypnosis here. Wow, this message is going to be really strong about being yourself. Your angels support your authentic self. Your power is here. Okay, so let's change that to first person for you. My angels support my authentic self. My power is here. All right, so once you have that down, my angels support my authentic self. My power is here. Whichever oil or both, if you want to use them 2 to 5 times a day, I want you to just imagine a time of the day. Could be first thing in the morning, could be last thing at night, could be some other time during the day. And see yourself diffusing, applying to your hands, inhaling, applying to the back of your neck. Rose is perfect over the heart, the third eye as well. Every time you are using them, you are saying to yourself, my angels support my authentic self. My power is here. My power is in my authenticity. My power is in my authenticity. My power is in my authenticity. All right, feel free to shorten that one if that resonates with you even better. Okay, that is a wrap. Thank you, Shining Lights. Thank you so much for being here today. Use these throughout the week, 2 to 5 times a day. This will really help ground that insight into your daily life. It'll get that transformation going for you. And I will see you again next week. Bye.